Hey y'all, it's Megan and Andy. Welcome back to the channel. Glad y'all are here today. Come spend some time with us today. It is the day that Mr. Lawson here has been waiting on so patiently.
Ain't that the truth? So today we're gonna be planting corn. Right?
I think I'm gonna freeze some strawberries. I picked a 3-gallon bucket full yesterday.
That's a ton of strawberries.
3-gallon bucket full.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess before I get started planting corn, I've got to set up my farm all, and I'm gonna go cultivate through the potato patch one last time, and it'll be done. I did put the disc on here, right there. Now when I go to plant my corn, I'll have to take those right back off. But those will roll the dirt up pretty good on the potatoes, get them healed up really good, and hopefully cover up all the weeds that have come up in between the potatoes. And then they'll be laid by and we'll be done with them till it's time to get them up. All right, up here at the potato patch. All this rain, and I guess the extra fertilizer I put by them has really brought these things out. So I don't know if there'll be as many potatoes under the ground as it is vines on top of the ground, but if it is, we ought to have us a pretty good crop of potatoes right here come time to get them up. Well, y'all, there's the finished result. Sure does make them look a whole lot better. That's about the prettiest potato patch we've had in a while. Looks amazing. All right, let's go get this corn started. There we go. This right here is going to be my corn planting setup for this year. Who knows? It may change again next year. Y'all who've been here a while remember that I did have a coal planter that was a 1-point hitch that I hooked up behind the farm all. And I've had that thing for quite a while, and it's just never performed the way I feel like a planter should perform. It works great on little garden patches and stuff, but when you're planting a lot, it seems like it locks up and it'll drag the tail wheels, and you don't even realize it until it's done happened. And you might have a spot from here to that light pole out there that don't get no corn in it. And with the plates that I had for that planter, I just couldn't get my in-row spacing close enough for my liking. So I found this on Facebook Marketplace. And what this is a John Deere 71 planter unit. Now originally this would have been on a big toolbar or something and probably had like, I don't know, anywhere from 2 to 4 to 8 planter units on the same setup. But I found a guy who takes these, he reconditions them, and then he'll mount them on whatever type of hitch you want. He had some for a 3-point hitch, and he had some for a 1-point hitch for like a 140 here. Anyways, so I'm totally new to this planter. Never used one of these, but what I do like about it is, you see this? We got these disc openers here, and that right there rolls, whereas my little coal planter has a sward on it, and that sward kind of drags. These roll, and so they'll go over rocks better, they'll go over trashy ground better, like, you know, if we've got some cover crop residue or whatever left, it'll just work all the way around. It should work better. This planter should be quite a bit more accurate too, because of the way now it is still a plate planter. There's a plate in the bottom of that hopper right there, but the design of it shouldn't allow it to miss any seeds or anything like that. Now, I'm not saying it won't miss a seed here and there, but just the overall design of it, in theory, should work a lot better than what that cold planter I've got. So, let's talk about the tractor setup real quick. Typically, I would have me some feet behind the tractor tires to plow out the tractor tracks. But I'm not this time because the land is still just a little bit on the wet side, and I don't want to be rolling out clods because unfortunately it's cloddy enough already. Y'all heard me talk about working your land at the right time. Well, I was kind of put in a position where I had to work mine at the wrong time, and it does have just a little bit of clods in it. But anyways, that's why I'm not going to run any feet. I'm just going to leave the tractor tracks in there. Now up front, we will be putting in the fertilizer with the hopper system on here. I'm going to have this mounted a little bit farther over, and then these plows right here will be down, and that'll somewhat ridge me up a row. I don't want a very high row. I want it to somewhat be planted on the flat, but I need something there to roll some dirt over the fertilizer so the fertilizer's not laying out on top of the ground exposed, because if it goes for a few days without raining, that fertilizer, if it's laying out in the sunlight, will start to evaporate. Now, if it's buried under the soil, it'll stay there. The first field we're planting is going to be our seed. This is the seed we saved from my Landrace mixture. And I also have 1 pound of Lancaster Sure Crop that I'm going to be mixing in with it to somewhat give me a little more yellow color in my mixture of corn I have. This is I've got exactly 5 pounds of seed we saved. I do still have some seed left over, because it's one thing you'll learn is you don't never want to plant all of your seed, especially if it's saved seed, because if you plant it all and something happens, well, your seed is gone. And y'all, I have worked on this here cross now for 3, 4, it might be going on 5 years now. So I definitely don't want to lose all the seed stock that I have, because this past year, because of the drought and everything, I didn't get to save much seed stock at all. The other field corn we're going to be planting is a variety I've never planted before, and it's called Boone County White Corn. So that's what's going in the rest of the fields. I'm trying it out this year just to see how we like it. I'm not going to mix it in with my Landrace. I want to keep it true, so we'll see how it goes. All right, y'all. I am going to mix up my corn seed here with this right here. Now this is Avapel. I've never used this stuff before, but you put it on there to keep the crows and turkeys and stuff like that from pulling up your corn. And as many of y'all who plant corn know, or probably know, they can destroy a cornfield real quick and in a hurry. So what we're going to do is it requires a teaspoon of this per pound. It's actually just a little bit less than a teaspoon. We're just going to round it up and say a teaspoon per pound. Well, like I said, we got 5 pounds right here. And then I've got a pound of extra seed that I'm going to be adding in. Like I said, that is a yellow corn. That's Lancaster Sure Crop corn. Now, it does make it somewhat difficult to have the right size plate in your planter when your corn has several different seed sizes in it. You see what I'm talking about. Those yellow corn seeds are a lot smaller than the white corn and the red corn and everything else. I do have some information that I printed this directly off of Avapel's website, because when you go to putting a chemical or something on your seed, it does somewhat make you think about it. You know, you want to make sure you ain't doing something that's going to either harm your soil or harm your crop or anything like that. So I was just reading on Avapel's website this morning. Avapel is the first scientifically proven seed treatment to stop birds, blackbirds, crows, grackles, pheasants, sandhill cranes, starlings, and more from eating newly planted corn seed. Made from an organic chemical found in plants, Avapel is a non-lethal, non-toxic, non-systemic corn seed treatment that can lead to greater corn crop yields, raising growers' bottom lines. So that's the kind of stuff when you're planting corn you want to hear. And it is organic. So there is supposedly nothing that can harm you in this right here product. But the way Avapel works, Avapel's liquid application surrounds each kernel with a protective coating that causes birds immediate yet temporary digestive distress. After attempting to eat newly planted corn seed, they quickly look elsewhere, leaving your newly planted field unharmed. So they could potentially eat a few hills of corn, and that's when they figure out, like, hey, we're not messing with this stuff anymore. We're not affiliated with Avapel at all, so I don't want nobody to get that idea. I got this this jar right here from Joey from JT West YouTube channel. He gave me this, and he also sent me the link that I'm going to be using. I'm going to put in our video description, so if anybody else is interested in using Avapel, you'll know where to buy it at. I will say it is expensive, but the thing of it is it doesn't take hardly any. Well, I need to shake this up. It doesn't take hardly any, so this jar right here alone will probably last me several years. And I'm going to tell you, after you have to replant a cornfield once or twice because the birds have dug up your corn crop, well, at that point, it doesn't sound quite as expensive. So, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 teaspoons for 6 pounds of corn. Let's get this stirred up. Look at that. That's amazing. Huh. I really had my doubts that was going to cover all that corn seed. So from my understanding is this stuff will sort of dry. It gets kind of like chalky on the corn seed. I think if you don't keep it stirred up, it can potentially, like they try to dry together, and you'll have 2 or 3 kernels stick to each other. So when we put it in the planter, we'll make sure to give it a good stir, just so we know none of that happens. Hey, will you hold this planter up for me? Just don't let it turn over. It's okay if it sits like that. Okay. Oh, me?
That's close.
Yeah, we're dropping too many now.
I got my forward on.
Did you?
Yeah.
Does it look better?
Yeah.
And we've got 1 there, 1 there, and it looks like we dropped 2 there, 2 there. 1 there, 1 there, 1 there. So my spacing is about right. And I knew with these little corn seeds that I am going to be dropping 2. I got to have that big of a cell plate in there so to pick up the big corn seeds. So we're just going to have to deal with that part of it, I guess. Alright, it looks like our corn is not stuck together or anything. I'm going to do one more quick test run. Jacob, will you spin that wheel for me? Oh yeah, it's working fine. It actually crushed one of the corn kernels.
Daddy?
What?
Where do you put the fertilizer on this one?
You don't. You've got don't put no fertilizer in this one. I'm gonna be putting it in with the tractor.
Oh.
All right. Well, I do believe that we might be ready to go plant. here's our field. And you can see there is some clods out there, and well, that's just gonna be part of it. We're gonna start right about right here. This up. So I plant flowers across there. It makes the butterflies and bees happy. All right, so right there, we'll start with corn, and we're just gonna plant down the hill until we run out. Now, it's super wet down at the very bottom of the field, so I didn't even bust that up last night. I'm not gonna plant anything down there right now. First 2 rows, I'm gonna say this thing's gonna work pretty good. So out here in the field a little farther out, it's not near as cloddy. And we're getting a good paction back over where the seed is. Now, I do not like these tracks being in my field. And I'm gonna tell you why, because that's gonna be the first place weeds start to pop up, is where that soil's been packed down. But like I told you before, this field is still just a little bit wet, and I don't want those back feet on there just bringing up more clods than what I've already got. The other nice thing, because of the design of this planter, once I get everything figured out here, I believe I can grab another gear and really roll on with it. Y'all wonder why I'm leaned over like this. On this side of the tractor, it's a little harder to see the tractor track, and I want to make sure I'm driving right back in the track of the tractor, so my rows, they can be as close together as possible, but still wide enough apart for me to be able to cultivate back with this tractor. And that's why I like planting my field corn with this tractor right here, because I keep it cultivated with this tractor. Because this is a non-GMO type corn, and it can't be sprayed with any Roundup or anything like that. Uh-oh. I do see a problem here. I don't think we're planting deep enough. So I guess I should have checked this before I'd done 4 rows already. But I wasn't putting it deep enough in the ground out here on these cloddy spots. Right there. That ground's just a little bit on the hard side. This is a different type of soil right here in this end of the field. Okay, so everywhere else looks good. It's all covered. Let's go back at it now. Hopefully it does a little better. Hey, come here. I broke. I had my first breakdown already. What are we, like 10 rows in? I don't know how long this has been broke either, but I noticed on this row, as I was coming back out, I kept seeing all this corn seed on top of the ground. And I was like, well, why is it still not putting in deep enough? Well, then I looked back and I noticed right here that one of these discs isn't spinning. And so I got off to check it. Well, you can see right there, look what a wad of corn was built up inside the disc. And what had happened, my down pressure spring, which I've still got one, so I'm gonna try to keep planting, but one of the down pressure springs broke, and lo and behold, was down here stuck on the disc just like that right there, keeping it from spinning. And so the tube, you know, it wasn't allowing the seed to fall. So I'm assuming that's why seed is on the ground here, like I'm seeing it on top of the ground in this row. And I don't much see any in this top row up here, so I don't know if it was broke then or not. But I'm definitely going to replant the row I just come down and this row. And, and I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed that there's seed in this row. I guess we can dig it out. I mean, I don't know. I'm not seeing anything. That's sort of disheartening though, because now I don't know how long it's been messed up. So I don't know how many of these rows I need to go back and replant. Every year is always just a little bit of something right at the start of it. Sort of messes with you, but like I said, I'm going to continue to try to plant with the one spring that's on there. I'm sure I'm not going to get the depth that I was probably getting before, but it's all I really can do if I want to plant today. Just part of it, I guess. So I'm going to pull out and then come back out this row and back down that one. And I'll probably just cut off my fertilizer because there's already fertilizer in this row. Well, it's working, but it's making the planter sit sideways where it's only got a spring on one side. So I guess I'll keep going until the other one breaks. Alright, y'all, I ain't gonna lie. It has been one more adventure trying to get this field of corn planted right here. And you know, it seems like it works out this way for us every year. When we first start, we have some kind of trouble either with the tractor or the planter. But that down pressure spring being broke I actually called John Deere, had to order it. As soon as that thing comes in, and as long as I can still work the land, I'll get back to work planting. But for right now, I'm going to finish planting our field right here because this field worked up really soft. And so it's not really having a problem. It's not really having a problem planting. But what I have run into is apparently I've got a way worse hydraulic leak than I thought I did. So I've got some Kubota hydraulic fluid left over here. And I guess that's what I'm gonna pour in it because it's all I've got. But I just noticed the seal on the hydraulic pump of this tractor is leaking pretty bad. And it got to the point that my plows wouldn't go up and down, and so yeah, I gotta add some to it. It's just what happens when you mess with old stuff. I could be out here with a brand new tractor and a brand new planter, and it would probably break too. All right, my last few rows are put in, but we're gonna walk out the rows here and I'm gonna show you why this is all I'm gonna plant for today. I really got to paying attention, and it's hard to look back on that tractor and look at the planter, because when you look back, then you end up messing up your straight line you're driving in. And you occasionally have a seed that's not all the way down in the ground like it should be. And so I was watching it, and I'm guessing because I don't have enough pressure pushing down on it, that on occasion, right there's another one, on occasion those discs would come off of the ground and they weren't actually touching the soil. So it's still dropping corn seed. It's just not opening up the soil for them to go in. That's a rock. So there's one. I'm just gonna make a quick walk around over this just to make sure that we're pretty good. And right here's a sign too that that plate, where I've got variable size seeds, look at that, one of the big kernels got busted. So that's not good either. That means there's probably some in the ground that are busted. And if that's the case, those won't come up. So y'all, this was a whole new learning curve for me. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of glad it worked out the way it did, because now, with what I've learned off of this field and the different things that has happened here, when I go to plant the rest of our corn, I should be able to really go on with it. Because now, I know things that I didn't really know before. That seed got busted too. I'm gonna stick it in the ground anyways. And so that is something else that I was thinking about. You know, when I was testing it, I was getting sometimes 2 seed at a time coming out. And I wonder if there's actually seed in the ground, and this seed that I'm seeing on top of the ground is my extra seed that's falling out. And for some reason, it's just not going in the ground, and it's kind of like bouncing. I don't know. We'll see. We're liable to have the awfulest mess up here you ever seen. I guess I'm gonna take my tractor back home. And something else funny too. My terrible leak that was leaking on that hydraulic pump, it's not leaking now. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. It's not even got a little drip to it. A while ago, it was flat pouring fluid out. And now it's not leaking. After I refilled it, it's not leaking at all. Anyways, I had to take a tractor home, get Megan to run me back up here so I can get my truck. I have went up there and disced up what was our potato patch last year. And we've decided this year that we're going to plant that whole thing in popcorn. Mainly because the kids are absolutely just eating us out of house and home when it comes to popcorn.
Our popcorn is the bestest popcorn in the world.
It's a lot better than what we've bought at the store, ain't it?
Yeah.
But, so we plant Japanese Hollis popcorn, and we have found that we really do like that. And the bad thing was, last year our popcorn didn't turn out that great. So we actually had one of our viewers send us 2 pounds of Japanese Hollis seed, which I'm pretty sure is probably going to be plenty for where we're going to plant. I'm going to let Jacob drive the side-by-side up the road. He's got us a couple bags of fertilizer on there. I'm going to put the fertilizer in the road with the farm off. I do have a popcorn plate for the earthway push planter I've got. So, and it does it just perfect. So that's what we're going to use to plant. I want y'all to look at this. This looks like I hit it with a tiller, and I did this with a disc and a drag behind it.
You did?
I didn't film any of it because, well, I was just kind of wanting to get it done. But look at this. That looks great.
It looks just like a tiller.
It does, don't it?
Yeah.
A drag behind a disc makes a world of difference. That land works so good. I wish the land across the road had to work like that. Which the land across the road didn't work terrible, so I can't complain. I imagine this right here is going to grow some pretty corn if we can keep a deer out of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if deer like to eat popcorn or not. We may end up getting some more of them dog barking alarms and put around the edge of this one too.
Yeah.
All right, Jacob, you'll have to pull the Kubota up for now so I can go out and back.
Look just like you picked it like way too late. It looks all dried up.
It does, don't it? It looks kind of nasty looking.
I know.
Well, we've already got our avapale on this seed, so.
Don't hold much.
Nah, and you don't want to put much in there either, because if you fill these hoppers too full, they don't work right.
No.
Well, here comes the fun part. Let's go push. This is how my day's been going. It run out of gas right there. Of course, I know that's my fault. I should have checked the gas in it, but it run out right there. But I guess that's a good thing. I got done with the garden work right here, and now all we gotta do is go get gas so we can take it home. And even though I don't like leaving tire tracks in it, I was too lazy to put some feet back on the back. I think it looks pretty with the tire tracks and the fluffed up row right in the middle.
Is it easy? It looks easy.
Oh yeah, this is working great. Yeah, it's dropping them. I tell you what, if all this makes, we're gonna have a whole lot of popcorn here.
I know. Golly, you don't use quite a bit of seed.
Yeah, that's the only bad thing is this plate right here drops them just a little bit too close.
The corn's getting riding the Ferris wheel. Does that look like the corn's riding the Ferris wheel going up through there? And also, it looks like when it grabs it, if it's going too fast, it drops it.
Yeah, that's what it does. It falls out of that hole, that slot.
And that slot needs to be a wee bit bigger. It's not like the house planter, it falls down into the hole. That one, it picks it up.
10, 11.
11 rows of popcorn.
I'm telling you what, we have 11 rows of popcorn that actually make something.
We're gonna have a whole bunch of popcorn.
I'm okay with it though, because
Yeah, it's good.
y'all eat it all the time, and I like it pretty good myself.
I can't wait to have some fresh popcorn when this makes. If this
Well,
does make.
You got a while.
I know. Maybe, how long does it take?
We caught a stick. Go throw that out too.
That looks like a bag of stick that grew.
It was. I had bone sauce on it last year, and I reckon it hadn't rotted out yet.
It popped.
I seen that.
Holy cow, we've dropped a whole bunch more. Why is it like black in that circle right there?
Because that black out there is where that big brush pile was.
Oh.
And we burn it, and then I turned this into a garden spot.
Oh, so the...
You remember when all this right
yeah.
here used to be growed up mess?
And then...
And we burn it there, and that's where that come from.
We had a brush pile right there and one... And
one right over there.
Yeah. Then we had one over there.
Yeah.
I remember it like it was a week ago, somewhat.
Do you?
Yeah, that's why I said I remember it like it's a week ago.
It don't seem like it's very long ago.
No. Well, how long ago has it been? 3 years? 2 years?
How many?
2? 3?
Probably more like 3 or 4.
Golly.
Well, it's planted.
And we still got a whole bunch of seed left.
11 rows of Japanese hulless popcorn. But anyways, I guess me and Jacob are going to get everything back to the house, run and get us a gas can, and come back up here and get this tractor. But I guess that's probably going to be it for today's video. I'm sorry y'all didn't get to see much of Megan in this one. Her plans got switched around today, and she didn't quite get to do exactly what she was wanting to do. And right now, her and Maggie are gone somewhere, so y'all got to listen to me talk all day long. And I want to ask too, for anybody who might be local here in North Carolina, if you know, or even Southern Virginia, if you know somebody that works on 140 farm-offs, I could do it myself. And I don't have no problem doing it. It's just I don't have time to do it, and I don't have a good enough spot to tear this thing apart. But I need some hydraulic work done on that tractor. Y'all can probably hear it whining in the videos and everything, and it needs some love. I know it's a good looking 140, but it does need some love. But anyways, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed going through the struggles I had today planting corn. I have to say that this here push planting probably went about as good as any of it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit better.
I tell you what, y'all, I am a big fan of the Hoss push planter, but it's hard to beat those little earthways if you've got some good soil you're working in. They're just super reliable, they do the job, and they work. But we hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope you might have learned a little something, and we'll see y'all on the next one.
Y'all have a good one.
Have a good one, y'all.